Hi everyone on YouTube and all the NFL YouTube prognosticators and football fans everywhere. This is Andrew Warren, back here once again, giving you my thoughts about Week 1 and my picks for Week 2 for the 2022 NFL season. Check it out. Okay, for my Week 1 picks, against straight up, I did pretty good. I went 9-7-1, including the tie with Indianapolis and Houston. And of course, against the spread, it was pretty bad, so I went 5-10-1, including the tie with the Houston and Tennessee and Indianapolis. And of course, the over and under, I went 1-2 and went a little bit above 500, but I got the 1 out of that, so that's pretty good with that. But what happened on Thursday night? The LA Rams and the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills just came out to play. They beat up the Super Bowl champions, and defensively, they did a pretty good job on holding them out. That's pretty good on Buffalo's part on that one. And Baltimore and the New York Jets. It was pretty much a Baltimore revenge on Joe Flacco. They're saying he wasn't a good quarterback, and they just proved it that he wasn't. That's pretty much to say about that one. Carolina and Cleveland. I gotta say, for Baker Mayfield losing a game, he didn't really play bad at all. And he looked like he was gonna win it at one point. But, for Cleveland, defensively, they didn't hold them back. But, Cleveland didn't pretty much showed Baker Mayfield why they got rid of him, and they go to show it right there. But, I think Carolina hasn't settled down this week. Just forget about a loss and focus on this, focus on the Baker Mayfield Mafia with Cleveland and move on to the next game. And I talked to Indianapolis and Houston Texans. Probably the most disappointing way to kick off a year if you're the Colts of Houston and end up with a tie. So, I don't know what to tell you on that one. It goes to show you that Indianapolis, a lot of people are hyped on Indianapolis, but I necessarily wasn't. So, I don't know. It goes to show you right there. Houston, I wasn't hyped on either. So if you're gonna tie with those two, I don't know what Indianapolis is gonna do this week. So we'll find out. Neither is Houston. So Jacksonville and Washington. I'm not gonna lie. That game was a very exciting game to watch. I mean, I was into my Patriots in there, which I'll get to them in a bit. But having Jacksonville and Washington, Jacksonville almost pulled it off though, and now they lost against on the road again, which they haven't won on the road in the last 2 years. But they could have pulled this one out. I really think they could have almost pulled off the upset in that one, which I thought they almost did, but they didn't. But I got to say, look out for Jacksonville. I'm not going to lie on this one. So, anyways, let's continue on. My Patriots and the Dolphins. I kind of expected the Patriots to lose. They haven't won in Miami since Tom Brady left. So, I don't know. Maybe next year and we'll get them in Miami. I don't know. But you know what? We'll get him again in week, I think believe it's week 16, we'll get Miami and Foxborough. So maybe we'll get, and now we're 0-4 against Tua. So what could I tell you? So anyways, that being said, let's move on to New Orleans and Atlanta. Another chokehold from Atlanta. I'll tell you that one. Philadelphia and Detroit. I actually thought Philadelphia was going to pound Detroit though, but Detroit almost came back and won. So, I don't know. But you know what? I thought Philly was going to choke, but they end up winning the game. They end up staying alive in the game and won the game. But Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, that was probably the game of the week right there. But Pittsburgh suffered a lot of injuries from that game, though. Yeah, they suffered T.J. Watt with a pec injury, and I believe Najee Harris for the running back, who's probably going to be doing surgery. I believe it's an undergoing surgery, so I think he's questionable for this coming game against my Patriots. Last I heard, TJ Watt is going to be out for 8 weeks, but he's not going to do the surgery if he doesn't have to, so that's probably the latest. So that's a big loss for Pittsburgh. TJ Watt is like the franchise on the defense. So that could be a big impact on the Pittsburgh Steelers as long as in the season in the role. Chicago and San Francisco, that was a pretty much a sloppy game, but Chicago got the win, and they did what they needed to do and won it. In Green Bay and Minnesota, there's that one team that always gets punched in the mouth, and that was pretty much Green Bay Packers in this case scenario. We've seen it in the past with I believe with the Saints. One year, I think, was not before Tom Brady got there, against Tampa Bay. So, with Justin Fields was there. And I think another year when my Patriots did that, got shot in the foot one year against Buffalo before Josh Allen was there. So, anyways, I think Green Bay was the team that got punched in the mouth. So Minnesota just came up and stomped them. But for Pittsburgh's case, on Green Bay's case, they pretty much missed Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers. I can tell he was like, yeah, I think I shouldn't get that money. I'm gonna have him give it to Davante Adams. Maybe we would have won the game. I don't know. Kansas City and Arizona. Now it looks like Patrick Mahomes could be an MVP candidate after that game. They just pounded the Arizona Cardinals on that one very, very, very heavily. So, in the Chargers and the Vegas Raiders, I'm not going to lie. I kind of expected to be an offensive explosion in that game. I was kind of disappointed it wasn't. It was kind of like a defensive game, but the Chargers pulled off to win it. Even though Davante Adams and Derek Carr, they both had a good game as well, but they just didn't get the win. Tennessee and the New York Giants. I'm not going to lie in this. I mean, if you don't really trust your kicker, you might as well go for it for the win. So that's pretty much, I believe, what Tennessee was doing in that case. But, you know what? I don't have a problem with them going for two if they really don't really trust their kicker. They want to just go and get out of here, get the win. That's fine, all good. Just make sure you really know what you're doing. But, you know what? Didn't work out the way they did. So, what can you do? But the New York Giants got the win. That's all I can say. In Tampa Bay and Dallas. Now, Dallas got a big, big loss for Dak Prescott. He's going to be out for 8 weeks. So, Dallas is going to be without Dak for 8 weeks. It is going to be very, very difficult for those 8 weeks for Dak to come back from that thumb injury. But as for Tampa Bay, you know, they won in a defensive game. They did control the ball really well, and they end up winning the game. As for Tom Brady's possibly his last year, I think they might go out on top. We'll see and find out. Denver and Seattle. Okay, I will say this. I was very impressed with Seattle's defense. They handled the team pretty well. They handled Russell Wilson pretty well. And I really thought this was going to be a slam dunk for Denver and Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson knows Seattle and their defense. But unfortunately, Russell Wilson hold the ball too long, and it kind of cost him the game. And lousy clock management for Russell Wilson. No disrespect to Russell Wilson. He's a really great player, but he needs to learn not to hold the ball too long. So, anyways, and I believe that really cost Denver to lose that game. So, anyways, for Seattle, Geno Smith had a great game as well. Got a couple of touchdowns, which is pretty good on his part. I think Geno Smith is going to be the guy to go for Seattle. I think Seattle so far it looked like Seattle got the right call, getting rid of Russell Wilson, and Geno Smith is going to playing really well. We'll see how it goes. So anyways, that's the way I look at it. That's my thoughts about week 1. Let's get on to my week 2 picks. Okay, when I kick things off on Thursday Night Football, it's going to be an over and under game. Like I said last week, it's going to be all the primetime games because of my work and school schedule is really tight, and I'm going to try to squeeze in as fast as I could. So that's going to be an over and under game. So it's probably be the first Amazon primetime game. So this is going to be really looking forward to see. It has the Kansas City Chiefs at home against the LA Chargers. Both teams got a good win last week. Now they get a divisional game. I expect it to be a high-flying scoring game with both quarterbacks. It's usually with Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. It's usually a shootout, so expect high numbers. Expect high scoring in this game, which I expect this one to be. So I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs over the LA Chargers at home against this game. This is where this is going to get the spread to be easily because the Chiefs are favored by 3.5 points in this game. I'm going to take the LA Chargers plus 3.5 in this game. I think it's going to come decided by 1 point or less. And the over and under is going to be 54. I'm going to go over the 54 on that one. I think it's going to be in the high 30s. So I think that's the way I'm going to see it with that game. The Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets. Now, this is going to be a defensive game. I don't expect to be an offensive explosion in this game. Cleveland's defense did a pretty decent to win the game against Carolina, but offensively, it wasn't really the best, to say. Same thing with the New York Jets as well. With that, so anyways, I think the way things are going for both sides of the ball, the way I see whoever's going to come up with the better defense is going to win the game. And I think that's the way Cleveland's going to go. Cleveland has a much better defense than the New York Jets, So I think I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns over the New York Jets in this game. On the line, though, the Cleveland is favored by 6 in this game. I'm going to take Cleveland -6 in this game. The Washington Commanders and the Detroit Lions. Now, with the injury for Dak Prescott, that division's wide open now. And I believe the Washington Commanders are going to be the team to do that. They're going to win the AFC East right now. I mean, the NFC East right now. I originally said it was going to be Dallas winning that division. Now with the injury of Dak Prescott, I think this is going to be a much, much tougher for my early picks on that one. So, as of right now, I think Washington has the edge of it. So, we're probably going to see how that one goes out on that one. So, as for the Washington-Detroit game, this is going to be a high-scoring game. I believe it's going to go either way. A high-scoring game, a low-scoring game. You can go either way. So, I think this game is going to be a lot not getting closer than I expect. But I'm going to, believe it or not, I'm actually going to go with the upset in this game. I'm going to take the Washington football team over the Detroit Lions in this game. On the line, the Lions are favored by 2 in this game. I'm going to take the Washington football team. The Washington Commanders, excuse me. +2. Sorry, I got the thing on the Washington football team still in my head. But even though I'm still getting the use of the Commanders. So, hey, what can you do? But anyways, let's move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. Another high divisional game and go either way. Though this is I believe this is going to be a close game as well. I expect to be a really in the 20s in this game. I think Tampa Bay is going to win out this game, but I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the New Orleans Saints at home to win in New Orleans to win this game. On the line though, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are favored by 3 in this game. I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints +3. The Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants. Oh, excuse me for a minute. I just lost my train of thought. Now I have my notes in here in my laptop. Excuse me for a minute. Here we go. Sorry about that. So, anyways, in this game, in the Carolina Panthers and New York Giants, the Giants got a lucky break for winning the game. I really think this is going to be a very, very close game in this one. But I think the edge of this game, because it's in New York, is the New York Giants, because of the big gamble that the Tennessee lost on that one. But I think the Carolina Panthers are a much better football team than the New York Giants, personally. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to win out this game as an upset. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers over the New York Giants in New York to win this game. On the line, though, the Giants are favored by 2.5 in this game. I'm gonna take Carolina -2.5, and I'll leave it at that one. My New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now the Patriots, oddly, I expect to lose to Miami, but I didn't expect to get blown out by that. Even though there was a couple of miscue calls, I'm not saying to be a fan or anything like that. There were a couple of them. There were a couple of miscue calls on both sides of the ball. You know, as of right now, Mac Jones, he had a back injury, which, of course, he walked the field in the zone, which was good. And then he came out with the back negative. So it was pretty good on that one. Maybe just a little bruise or something like that, and I think he'll be all right. So, anyways, for that case scenario, Mac Jones seems to be okay. So, I think it goes to show you that our offensive line is pretty bad. But as for Pittsburgh's side, Pittsburgh lost tremendous injuries on both sides of the ball with TJ Watt and yeah, just my screen froze for a minute, excuse me. So, anyways, that being said, but especially TJ Watt, that was a huge loss on the Jesus. Sorry, guys. My thing fell out for a minute, so I had to fix that. So I apologize for that. So, anyways, with the injury of TJ Watt and Harris, too, with the running back position for Pittsburgh, that is going to be a big time loss on Pittsburgh on both sides of the ball on that one. So anyway, for Pittsburgh, I think that impact is going to impact the game pretty much for Pittsburgh on that one. Usually with Hoodie, when there's injuries on the field, he usually takes advantage of that. So I think my Patriots are going to come out in this game pretty upset about that Miami loss, and they're going to take it out on Pittsburgh. So I'm going to take my Patriots over the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game, in Pittsburgh in this game. On the line go, that game is a pick'em, so I'm going to pick my Patriots in a pick'em. So, on that game. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. Now, this is a game that I'm going to be, like, very, very, very interesting in. If Indianapolis can put up a tie in this game and they end up losing to this game, to Jacksonville in this game, which I think, this personally, hint, I think that might happen. They're going to be probably the most disappointing teams in the NFL this year, if that's going to happen. But I'll say this, Jacksonville almost put up a big fight in the end against the Washington football team. Washington Commanders. Still get that on my head. Anyways, that being said, I think Jacksonville is going to pull off their first win in 2 years on the road in this game. And it's going to get Indianapolis on this one. So, like I said, I wasn't very hyped on Indianapolis this year. But, like everyone else was. But I'm pretty hyped on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I believe Doug Peterson will get his first win as a Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. I think they're gonna pull off the upset in this one. So I'm gonna take the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Indianapolis Colts in this game. On the line though, the Indianapolis Colts are favored by 4 in this game. I'm gonna take Jacksonville +4 because I think Jacksonville is going to be a tough team to beat out in the AFC South. I really do. It looked like they almost going to pull it out, too. They looked like they were going to win the whole thing. But didn't pull out that way. But I think they're going to take that out on Indianapolis this week. So look out for that. The Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. Now, this is the one game I'm going to be thinking, Miami's not playing my Patriots this week. So this is going to be a very tough for Tua and the Dolphins to deal with. And plus, they're going to be playing a very tough competitor with the Baltimore Ravens, who just beat out the New York Jets. So I think this game is going to be a very, very close game. I expect to be Baltimore winning out this game. And especially Miami, usually most of the time, they usually lose after they play the Patriots in this game. So that's why I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens over the Miami Dolphins in this game. Because I believe it was last year when my Patriots lost to the Dolphins at home, but 17-16 on the Week 1 opener. They got pounded by Buffalo the week later. So I think this is going to be the exact same situation with them, but the Ravens this time. So I think the Ravens are going to beat the Miami Dolphins in this game, and it could be a pounding on that side of the ball. You never know. But the only difference is Miami Dolphins have some good weapons. So we'll see. So I think I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens over the Miami Dolphins in this game. On the line, though, the Ravens are favored by 3.5-point favorites in this game. I'm going to take the Ravens -3.5. The LA Rams and the Atlanta Falcons in this game. Now, this game is if I'm the LA Rams, I would be frustrated getting a season opener with the Super Bowl champions and losing to a team that were a playoff team. I would be really mad. Especially when Ozzy Osbourne was doing the halftime show, but they only showed 10 seconds. They should have shown the whole performance on that, personally. But anyways, let's continuing on. The LA Rams, I think they're going to win out this game. I think they're going to beat out the Atlanta Falcons, take the first ring on Atlanta. It could be another chokehold for Atlanta. So I'm going to take the LA Rams over the Atlanta Falcons in this game. On the line, though, the Rams are favored by 10 in this game. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons +10. Because I think it's going to be a lot closer. San Francisco and the Seattle Seahawks in San Francisco. Now, I was very impressed with Seattle's defense. I'm not going to lie on that one. Seattle's defense was pretty good. Geno Smith played pretty well, too. I really think, I know it's only one game, but I think this could be settling in for a little bit now. I think they're going to be setting it out for this for a while, but I think this game is going to be a much closer game than I expected to be. But I think San Francisco is going to pull out the win, despite the injuries on what happened right now for San Francisco right now. So I think San Francisco, they're going to still run out this game. they're going to beat out the Seattle Seahawks in this game. So I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers over the Seattle Seahawks. On the line, though, 49ers are favored by 8.5-point favorites in this game. I'm going to take the Seattle plus 8.5. I think it's going to be a lot closer than everyone expects to be. The Cincinnati Bengals over the Dallas Cowboys. That's another team who's very pissed off after what happened last week, especially against Pittsburgh. You almost win the game and blow it, all because of a missed field goal, like almost there. But I think despite that, Cincinnati should have won that game. It was an exciting game to watch. Now with the defending AFC champions in there, they're going to take all their frustration on Dallas Cowboys. Especially Dallas is out with Dak Prescott. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals over the Dallas Cowboys in this game. In Dallas. On the line, though, Cincinnati's favored by 7 in this game. I'm going to take Cincinnati minus 7. The Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans. Now, this game, I don't really know how this one's going to go. I was a coin flip away for each person. But I'm going to go out who has the better offense, and that's going to be Russell Wilson and the Broncos in this game. So I'm going to take the Denver Broncos over the Houston Texans in this game. On the line, though, Denver's favored by 10.5-point favorites in this game. I'm going to take the Houston plus 10.5. I think it's going to be a lot closer than I expect in that one as well. In Arizona and the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, this game, I was debating back and forth on that one. I'm going to go. I know Arizona got killed against Kansas City. And I'm probably going to take that on the Raiders as well. So I think that's something to look out for the Raiders right now, which I don't really expect the Raiders defense really much right now. So as of right now, Josh McDaniels, he's an offensive coach. I don't know if he knows defense really well yet. So we'll have to find out in a little while. So I think Arizona, who is mighty frustrated after that Week 1 loss against the Kansas City Chiefs, I think I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals over the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. On the line, though, and that's an upset pick, by the way, just so you know. On the line, though, Vegas Raiders are favored by 4.5-point favorites in this game. I'm going to take the Arizona plus 4.5. Sunday Night Football, the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears, the oldest rivalry in the NFL, gets to renew their rivalry with Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers, he looks like he's going to be really mad, but I think Chicago wants to say, look, we're going to be in the top dog in this division. We're going to probably show Aaron Rodgers who he is. But unfortunately, that's in Green Bay. In Green Bay, and the Aaron Rodgers against the Chicago Bears in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers has the best of it. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers over the Chicago Bears in this game in Green Bay. Now, this is where it gets dicey. Because the Green Bay Packers are 10-point favorites in this game. I'm actually going to go with the Chicago plus 10 because I expect to be a low number in this game, which that's going to be really good. Which I'm going to get to the over and under in that one. That's a primetime game. So I'm going to take Chicago plus 10. Over and under it's 43. I'm going to go under 43 in this game. The Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans. Now, I believe this is a rematch of Week 8 last year in Tennessee when Tennessee upset Buffalo in this game. But I think the way Buffalo played last week, I think it's going to be the other way around. And especially it's in Buffalo. So I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills over the Tennessee Titans in this game. Now, this is where it's going to get dicey because the Buffalo Bills are favored by 10 in this game. But I think I'm going to take Tennessee plus 10. I think they're going to be a really close game. Over and under, it's 49. I'm going to go over 49. And that was the first of the Monday Night Footballs, by the way. The second one is the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles in this game. The Philadelphia Eagles barely got out a win against Detroit. Now, Minnesota had a great game against Green Bay. Now they get to go in Philadelphia to win out in Minnesota in this game. I think this game is going to be a much closer than I expected to be in this one. But as much as I don't trust Kirk Cousins on primetime games, I'm going to trust him in this game because I think I'm going to pull up the upset in this one because I think Minnesota's a much better team than Philadelphia. Because I think I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings over the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia in this game. On the line, though, the Philadelphia Eagles are favored by 2.5 in this game. I'm going to take Minnesota plus 2.5. The over and under, it's 49 as well. I'm going to go over 49. Okay, shout out this week is Justin Bridgewater's. Find us on YouTube. He's Blockbuster_guy on Twitter because he's doing a live feed right now because all of his picks right now. and he likes CFL picks, he's got your CFL picks as well. He's got you covered on those. Check him out and the rest of the NFL YouTube prognosticator page in the description down below. Till then, this is Andrew Warren signing off, saying rock out.